We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
Boom! Headshot!
Hey, it's Clay. How you guys doing? I have another League of Legends commentary for this time. I want to talk about why you should buy Ezreal. Ezreal is an AD carry in League of Legends, and this is going to be directed at newer players. If he's on the free champion rotation, or if he is somebody you're interested in buying and you just want to learn more about him, what kind of sets him apart, what makes him good. This is for you. This is definitely going to be aimed at newer players. I myself am I'm definitely not a veteran player. Haven't been playing League of Legends for too long, but I have been doing a ton of research and just play and, reading a lot of forum posts and playing a lot of games with Ezreal and some other champions just to kind of get a feel for him and what he's good at and what he can do. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk about his abilities. Now, Ezreal is a really solid champion overall. He's got a good mix of abilities, and he just works really well. There's a reason why he's very popular in competitive play right now, just because he's got some really good abilities. His Q is his Mystic Shot. This is a skill shot nuke. So basically, you hit Q, and then you aim out of your cursor. You aim a targeted shot. I just used it there, even though you can't actually see it. It was definitely... It's a great ability. You can use it early game for poke. It does a lot of damage. It scales with attack damage. So overall, it's definitely a really, really strong ability. I max Q early and often. I put as many points into it as I possibly can early game, just because it's such a good ability. Now his W, Essence Flux, this is actually, it's another skill shot nuke type thing. It only will damage champions, and it will damage multiple champions. It'll pass through them in a wave. And it will also pass through allies, and it will, buff their attack speed. So it's kind of an interesting ability, but, compared to Ezreal's, the rest of his kit, I would say this is his worst ability. It doesn't do as much damage. It scales off of AP and not AD, so it's really only useful if you're playing AP Ezreal, but if you're playing him in more of the standard AD carry type role, this is definitely the ability to max last. And actually, I've read some builds, specifically one from Chaos, where he doesn't even put any points in it at all throughout the game until the very, very end. So I think that should tell you a lot about just kind of the way that he looks at Ezreal's W. Overall, I'm not even sure if I use it once this game, just because you're going to do so much more damage. Its base damage isn't horrible, but because it scales off of AP, at max level it's doing 250 magic damage. Compare that to your auto attacks, which will easily be doing 250 AD, and even compare that with his Mystic Shot, his Q, that does 100 AD, 100% AD plus 115 physical damage. So you're going to be doing more damage with your Q and your auto attacks than your W at pretty much any point throughout the game. Now, his E is his Arcane Shift. This is a mini blink, and this is one of the best blinks in the game, in my opinion. It also will do damage when you land if you blink towards an enemy champion, which is a really cool ability. But I don't really use it for the damage as much as I use it for the blink. Now, you can blink over walls, which is really, really great. You can use it defensively when you're running away to try to get away from people. You can use it offensively to blink in and just really make sure you secure that last kill. Overall, it's a fantastic ability and definitely one of the best blinks in the game. When you're playing AD carry, your positioning is extremely important. You have to have good positioning, and his E just really allows you to do that. It's a great ability. It's definitely one of the main reasons why I think Ezreal is so strong. So I'm going in on Tryndamere here, and you can... Oh, man, I almost get him, almost pick him up. Now let's go on to his R. This is his ultimate hit, True Shot Barrage. This is a global wave-like, straight line nuke where basically he sends out this giant wave of energy that kind of has a wide pattern path to it, and it will actually travel throughout the entire map. So you send it in a direction, it will go all the way to the other end of the map. It does less damage as it goes through minions or champions. So but it is really good for, kind of initiating a team fight. You can just send it through the entire enemy team and do a ton of damage right away. It's a fantastic ultimate in my opinion, just because it's global. You can go anywhere on the map with it. You can use it to clear out, late game. Let's say it just has so many uses. Late game, let's say that, you're there's a big minion wave about to push down one of your turrets. Well, instead of having to recall and go and kill that wave manually, you can just send a true shot barrage down that way and clear out a lot of that minion wave and help that turret stay alive. If in the very opposite lane, one of your enemies gets really low, and you see them start to recall, you can send a true shot barrage and they'll make it there by the time their recall is done. And I picked up a couple of kills doing that. It's always worth sending it down and just getting it out there, because you never know when you can pick up a kill. Specifically because it's global, you have these really cool opportunities to pick up kills where you normally could not. So it makes Ezreal really dangerous. He's pretty much a threat throughout the entire map, which is really, really cool. And it also scales off of AD, so it definitely becomes really strong in the late game. Overall, just a fantastic ability. Okay, right there, you see I'm in trouble, so I use my E and my blink, and I'm pretty much good to go. His E is just so effective, and you can see I put 3 points into my Q, 2 points into my E. I haven't even touched my W, and I'm going to rank up my R as quickly as I can. Now, we haven't talked about his passive. This will actually increase his attack speed, and it will stack. So the more auto attacks that you get off, the more his attack speed will increase, which is definitely a solid passive. It's not the best passive in the game, but it definitely is helpful. If you're doing damage and getting on a roll, you can really just kind of keep doing a lot of damage. Good job by Terra getting a stun off there on Tryndamere. He's definitely in trouble, and he's got to get out of here. Hit him with a couple of a trooper shot, or with a couple of mystic shots with my Q, just to poke him away. Now, one thing to talk about here with his Q specifically is it will reset your attack timer, which is a really useful feature, specifically when you're last hitting minions. So basically, or if you just want to get out a ton of burst damage really quick on a champion, what you can do is, the combo is to hit an auto attack, and then follow it up with a Q, and then another auto attack. And what it'll do is it'll auto attack, Q, and then immediately auto attack again, because it will, like I said, it will reset your attack timer. So if you're last hitting and you mess up a little bit and you didn't quite get that auto attack time correctly, you can actually send out your Q right after it, and then your auto attack again, so you can make sure that you get that minion kill. His Q has a really short cooldown. It doesn't have a ton of mana cost, although you don't want to necessarily spam it. It's just a really great ability. So here we're going in here. I'm seeing a couple of enemies, Pantheon and Rammus. I'm definitely going to pick up Rammus here. Now I'm going to start focusing on Master Yi, and then Tryndamere. Tryndamere is getting really low. Let's see if I can stay with this. I used my E and a couple of... Let's see if I can get one more Q. Okay, nice. Okay, so right there I used my E in conjunction with my flash to make sure that I get that kill. That's definitely a huge advantage. Oh my goodness, Pantheon. He totally whiffed me there. So we're going to start attacking him now. And nice job by my team. Am I able to pick up this kill? Yes, I am. All right, very, very good. And can we get one more on Teemo? Teemo's focusing me. I got to get out of here. I got to stay away from him. Good job by my team to help secure the kill there as I walk away with 27 health. That was close. So that little sequence really shows the usefulness of his E. Having that little blink there in conjunction with flash, you can basically cover so much range that you can almost pick up any kill. Yeah, Ezreal just has a really great kit. And just a couple things about him too. Little things like that aren't so much on the statistics page. His animations are really clean. His movement speed is very quick. Even like the animation of his E, of his blink, is very quick and efficient. You can, quickly blink over walls, get away from teammates, blink in before they really know it's hitting you. Compare that with something like Tristana's W, which is a different blink. Hers is very messy and very, it's just very awkward and clumsy. Whereas Ezreal's is just very clean and crisp. All of his attacks and abilities are very clean and crisp. He's just a really solid AD carry overall. So let's talk a little bit about building him. Now, you pretty much build him like any other AD carry. I pretty much I prioritize damage and critical attack chance. just because, you know, you want to be putting out as much damage as you possibly can with every single one of your hits. I find that building damage is a lot better choice than attack speed, just because attack speed requires that you're standing still and you're in the battle and you're shooting a lot consecutively over the period of time, whereas if you're just building attack damage and crit chance, you basically are only, as we see if we can pick up Trinimir here, tries to juke, but he's not going to juke me. You're basically, if you're building attack speed, you have to sustain the battle, but if you're building attack damage, you can kind of dart in and out and stay a lot safer. That's kind of my reason there. So items like Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster are fantastic items to get. Even Static Sheave, anything that will increase your critical chance and your damage is a really, really solid choice overall on Ezreal. But a lot of it's situational. I'm not going to go too much in there, and if you want to read guides specifically about builds, you can do that. That'll probably be a better source. But just to kind of compare and contrast Ezreal, you know, it's interesting because he really only... I only use 3 of his skills. I don't even use his W, and yet I think he's one of the best champions. I mean, really the only things I would say that are his negatives is he doesn't have any AoE. He does, like, you know, like consider something like Ashe's W that fires out in a cone, or Graves' Q. He doesn't have any sort of AoE. I guess maybe his ultimate is an AoE, but that's to make sure that everybody's in a line. Now, his range isn't the best. I believe his range is 525, or perhaps, I'm sorry, it's 550. So 550 is very average range for a AD carry. See if we can pick up Master Yi here. Nice job. Okay, good job by Taric. They're getting a nice stun. That, again, shows the combination of auto attack, Q, auto attack, using your E to flash in, do a little bit more damage, get in better position. But anyways, getting back to his kit overall, you know, all of his abilities are just solid, except for his W, but, you know, they just do so well. His Q does so much damage. It does such good poke. You know, but, yeah, like I was saying about his range, it's not amazing. You know, he doesn't have range like somebody like Caitlyn or Ashe or Tristana late game. You know, his range is average, so, you know, it's a little bit of a downside just because extra range can be so useful to help you stay in the back late game and stay nice and safe. But it's not bad. It's not, you know, he doesn't have short range like somebody like Kog'Maw. It's just average. And he also doesn't have any AoE. He doesn't have any form of crowd control either, which is kind of a big deal. If you really enjoy playing Ashe because of her slows, that really could be something that you might miss. You know, because he doesn't have any form of crowd control, you need to rely on your team, you know, so like pairing with somebody like Taric, like I'm doing in this game, is really effective because Taric has, you know, such good natural crowd control with his stun and his auras. So you're a little bit reliant on your team in that respect. But for an AD carry, if you just want to deal out a ton of damage, you know, who has very effective abilities, very well-rounded, you know, one of the things that I think is a real testament to Ezreal's strength is just how viable he is with almost any team composition. I mean, you'll see him in a lot of pro matches despite, you know, almost regardless of who his laning partner is or who he's going up against. It almost doesn't matter just because he can usually handle just about any laning combination with ease. I mean, he's so well-rounded because he's got that blink, because he's got a decent amount of poke with his Q, because his R is global and, you know, gives him that map presence. You know, he's definitely a solid champion. Another thing to just kind of consider is that it's possible to play Ezreal as an AP, kind of like a mid lane AP carry. It's possible. I don't. It's probably not recommended, but you definitely can do it. You know, his Q has 20% AP scaling, his W has 80% AP scaling, his E has 75%, and his ultimate also has 90%. So all of his abilities scale off of magic damage. So it definitely is possible to. Let's see here. Now, Master Yi comes in for gank, and just like that, I use my E to get out of it, no problem. But like I was saying, you could play him as an AP carry. You'd focus on his W as your main spell. His Q would not do a ton of damage. It would be a little bit more worthless. But his Q and his E and his R would all do a pretty significant chunk of damage. So basically, you'd use your E to kind of get in the mix. Use your W, and then throw out your Q. You'd probably want to focus on cooldown reduction, just because his W has a 9-second cooldown. His Q at max level has a 4-second cooldown, so that's really nice. Able to pick up Master Yi there. But overall, he's viable as an AP champion. I wouldn't say it's really a strong choice, but it definitely is something that you can do. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. You know, somebody like Ashe doesn't really have much AP scaling, I guess, maybe other than her R. You know, so to kind of be that multi-threat where you can play him in a couple different ways is kind of cool. I think that's kind of a strength. I think that's kind of a cool thing to consider. So overall, I really like Ezreal. I think he's a fantastic champion. I'm going to kind of start following the game a little bit more closely now and start talking a little bit less about, you know, just I'm getting a huge farm whip here. So just to kind of take stock, I've leveled up his Q to max, his E to max. I haven't put any points in the W. There's my first point. And I put every point in my ultimate that I can. I've got a Infinity Edge, Vampiric Scepter, and a BF Sword, so I'm going for a Bloodthirster. Able to pick up kill there on Pantheon. Trying to escape with my life. Okay, using my E to get out of there. Nice. Okay, so I picked up a kill there on Master Yi using my R. We're still just kind of poking around with these guys here. Just kind of poking, just kind of playing back and forth. Rammus has that really annoying shield, and Teemo. I just don't have enough health to really go in there and do a lot of damage. Rammus could wreck me, but I'm feeling pretty good about things. I've got 238 attack damage, which is good. You want to kind of get up into the 350 range. That's usually my goal. Just picked up a Bloodthirster, up to 240 attack damage, so feeling good, but in level 13 doing that much damage. Okay, so it looks like we're really focused on Tryndamere. He pops his Undying Rage. Let's see if we can get that for it. There it ended. Okay, I'm able to pick up the kill there, feeling good about that. And we're just going to be content to farm these minions. And at this point in the game, don't be afraid to really start using your Q really aggressively. Okay, so it looks like I see my teammate coming in. I'm focusing on Rammus here. He's got that shield, but all right, Kennen's able to get the kill there, and nice. I'm able to pick up the kill on Teemo. And again, if you notice, I'm really relying on that auto attack Q, auto attack combo. You dish out so much damage. I think we're calling it a dragon here. But just really focusing on that auto attack Q, auto attack. It is so effective. I probably even use it on dragon here just because it's the most. See right there, I did it. You can see how it quickly resets that attack timer. It's just such an effective way to deal out a ton of damage really quickly. It's his best burst. So at this point, we're feeling good. I am okay. Let's see if we can get. We got 3-on-1 here against Pantheon. Alright, so right there, again, using my E to blink in, and using that auto attack Q auto attack. That's his bread and butter. You do a ton of damage. You're really mobile. Feeling good about things. Going to try to take down this turret. Let's just kind of take stock of where things are at. I have 140 CS. I have 12 kills at this point. I'm feeling really good about things. You know, compared, I guess Teemo's kind of their carry. He's got 69. Rammus has 102. Don't really have anybody on their team who has a lot of kills, so I'm feeling really good about things right now. If I can just keep building attack damage and focus on my positioning, I should be able to really start carrying this game. Able to just kind of poke on Teemo there with my Q, just farming out this mid lane as best as I can. Really focusing on just building up really, really high damage items. Now, okay, so right there, I kind of get out of position, but I use my E to save myself. That little blink, I cannot stress how effective it is and how important it is to have an ability like that on an AD carry. Because I was out of position. I was in a bad place, but I was able to get out of it by using my E to really save myself. Nothing I can do to save Kennen, but Master Yi, is he going to commit? Nope, he's going to take a couple turret shots, which may not be smart. It could be his death. There we go. Okay, so again, I used my blink, my E, to offensively that time to get a kill where I otherwise could not have. Focusing on Rammus, although he's got a ton of shield. Let's see if I can pick up the kill on Rammus. Using my E again. Oh, not going to chase him because Pantheon is there. Okay, nice job by Taric there to pick up the kill. So at this stage of the game, I'm really feeling good just because I've been able to play so successfully. I really, really won my lane. I'm getting farmed. I have a ton of kills. So just really going to try to make sure that I press my advantage. Okay, we're going after Tryndamere there. I want to go ahead and back up just a brief moment. Okay, so let's take a look at this battle. And I want to highlight what happened here. So the basic strategy was that Taric was tanking the turret. You can see he leads in, he stuns, there the turret starts attacking him. Now I'm going to I use my E to blink in, use my Q and my auto attacks to really finish him off. That combination is so deadly effective. I've talked about it before, but it's definitely his best way to deal out a lot of burst damage, because the E does damage, it gets you in position, auto attack, Q, auto attack. It's just it's a really, really effective combination. Now I'm just going to go back and buy because I don't want to fight. Looks like Teemo's coming after me though. Oh, no, he's just going to place a mushroom, and I am going to back off here. So overall, we're in a great position. We're up about 5k gold. Just looking at my team, you know, we've got Talon here. He's a great assassin. Tarek is building tanky, you know, with his Aegis of the Legion. Shen is building tanky with his Warmogs. And then Kennen and Talon and I are probably going to be the primary damage dealers. So again, when we get in team fights like this, now watch my position here. I'm staying in the back and I'm focusing the nearest target. I'm not trying to, you know, move in and go after Teemo. I'm focusing on Rammus. Even though he's the tank, I focus him because he is the closest target. It's one of the things that I've learned that is most effective about playing AD carry is you always want to stay safe. So attack whoever you can. It doesn't really matter. In this case, it's Tryndamere. So he's close. He's going to pop his Undying Rage. I'm just going to wait for that to wear off. Actually, I'm going to let him go. Using my True Shot Barrage there, got some nice attack damage. You can see it's still traveling on the minimap. They did pick up Tryndamere in the jungle. And now we're sandwiching these three. I'm going to focus on Teemo, blinking in with my E, getting an auto attack and a Q, and pick up the kill. Nice job. And looks like Talon picks it up on Pantheon. Master Yi is the only one left. We got 4-on-1. Yi is definitely not going to take that fight. Let's see if we go after him or not. Looks like he's using his heal. Kennen's going after him there, but I'm just going to keep pushing this lane. You know, and at this point, things are looking really good. We are really fed. Just going to keep pushing towers, keep pressing our advantage. Really, at this point, I just don't want to make mistakes. I want to play safely. I don't really have to be that aggressive with my E. I can just kind of stay in the back, use my Q to poke, use my E to save myself if I'm out of position. But overall, you know, just to keep pressing our advantage, stay with my team. You know, Tarek and Shen specifically, I want to stay with them because they're so tanky. They can tank that damage for me. You know, Tarek's got his stun with that crowd control. Nice job there, guys. We're gonna get the kill on Master Yi. Looks like Pantheon's gonna be jumping in here. I want to try to get out of the way, but just gonna focus him. You know, that was not a good choice. We just did a lot of burst damage right there. Now let's see if we can focus Tryndamere using my E to blink in, auto attack Q. Can I pick him up with one more Q? Looks like I am going to back off and just focus on this tower. Again, like I was saying, I don't have to play aggressively. I'm still pretty squishy. You know, I don't have a lot of health. If we just kind of take a look at things, I've only got 1,700 health, which really is not a lot. If you compare that to somebody like Tarek, you know, he's got a ton. Shen, you know, he's got a ton more than I do, almost 1,000, you know, 1,300 more health than I do. Focusing on Rammus here. I just want to stay in the back. I want to stay alive. I want to stay safe. Get the kill there. Feeling really good about that. Going to clear these creeps. Actually, I'm going to go back and buy, it looks like. So at this point, I picked up a Last Whisper to really shred through that armor. You know, and just looking at the enemy team, we've got... is anybody building armor? Well, we've got Rammus. He's got a Warmogs and a Sunfire Cave. There's 45 armor there, and an Aegis of the Legion. So specifically for Rammus, having that Last Whisper is going to be so nice to shred through that armor. But other than that, it looks like their team just going to attack damage, which is totally fine because I will just have more attack damage and be able to win those exchanges. So in this position, I definitely get caught out of control, using my E to blink away, allowing my team to sneak in from the side. I'm going to focus on Teemo if I can because he's definitely... Okay, so now I'm shifting my focus to Tryndamere. Again, being able to pick up the kill there, auto attack Q, auto attack. Now focusing on Master Yi, using my E to blink in and my Q. I missed my Q, but I got my auto attack. Really starting to roll here, 20 and 0 and 6. Now just going to focus on Teemo and then Rammus. Rammus has no chance, even though he's got a ton of health and a ton of armor. He's going to die. Now focusing to Tryndamere. Again, just so much damage. I'm trying to use Undying Rage, but it's not going to work. Not forever because we do so much damage. Just going to push the heck out of this lane. We got the ace there. Things are really starting to wrap up. You know, overall, it was a solid game. This was a ton of fun. I can't say enough good things about about Ezreal. He's definitely my favorite AD carry just because his skill set is so well-rounded. His E and his Q are so useful, and having that global, see I pick up a kill on Teemo there, having that global ultimate is so nice and effective. Able to pick up another kill on Tryndamere using my E, there we go, and then focusing on Rammus. He's going down, there's no doubt about it. Good job, Kennen. Overall though, Ezreal, so good. If you're thinking about picking up, he's a great champion. You know, just like the only real negatives that I can think of is, you know, he's squishy, but all AD carries are squishy. He's lacking some of the AoE and the crowd control, and also his Q is a skill shot, his R is a skill shot. You know, whereas if you contrast that with somebody like Misfortune, her Q is just a targeted ability, and her R is more of a just kind of a funneling ability. You know, so if you're nervous about skill shots, it may not be the best choice, but overall, I think that it is so worth it. If you're thinking about picking up Ezreal, he's a beast. Overall, I end up going 241 creep score with 23 kills and 11 assists, 0 deaths. That was a really fun game, and I think it just highlights how effective he can be. Overall, he's a fantastic champion. So, if you're thinking about getting him, I give him a huge 5-star rating. I think he's a great champion, a fantastic AD carry for almost any team or laning combination. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you soon.